Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wax Wednesday space. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes as we wait for our guests to arrive and as we retweet the room. All right, both of our guests have been reached out to, and we are just waiting on their responses. I'm getting some feedback that the space is being a little bit laggy. Will you guys throw up a hand if you're having some issues viewing the space?
Yeah, it's definitely lagging for me. I still only see Goparel in the room.
All right, we have Kristalla coming up. She is one of our two guests today, and then we are still waiting for Alcy2. I'm sure she'll be in here in just a second as well. Hey, Kristalla.
Welcome.
Thank you. Oh, how are you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're just getting, we're really just waiting on our other guest. It's Alcy2. How have you been doing? What have you been playing recently?
Well, recently I just been playing the Blood and Bloodless and the closed beta this week. Was really fun. And also I've been playing every day in the Quest 2. And recently I've been testing again in Nova Rally. I don't know if you guys have been. It's gonna launch some stuff tomorrow, so it's really good that they passed the game to a 3D model. So it's gonna be fun with that too.
Were you able to beta test the car creation?
Yeah, I don't. It's still in process, but it was really fun to play that in the Production Lab Badless Close beta because I really like all about that game. The colors, the players, the bubbles. It's really fun, and I was really happy to be testing the closed beta. So I think it's gonna be a hit when it's launched. So it still don't work, but it's going really well.
Oh, I'm so excited to see when it goes live tomorrow.
Yeah. About.
All right, Tommy, I think we just got word that Alcy is going to be just a couple minutes late, so we'll bring her up whenever she comes into the space if you want to go ahead and get started.
Alrighty, yeah. Y'all hear me okay? Not lagging too much?
Hearing you pretty well.
Yeah, pretty good.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Welcome to another fantastic Wax Wednesday Twitter space. This is the last Wednesday of the month, And you know what that means. It is our Women on the Block Day. So as usual, I have Snazzy co-hosting with me today. We also have an exciting opportunity to feature two other women who bring some serious value to the NFT streaming and gaming ecosystem on Wax. First up, we'll invite Cristala to the mic. She is not only a very talented bilingual YouTuber who loves to cover all things NFT, but also a project representative for 3DK Render. And then next, we'll welcome Elsie, a community manager for NFT Gamer TV, which is a collective of passionate Web3-focused YouTubers and Twitch streamers. We'll start this call off with a brief interview, like usual, of each guest to get an idea of their background and how they navigated into their respective positions. And then we'll move into our roundtable discussion about the goals they have for the future of the blockchain space. And during that time, we will invite our audience up to participate in the conversation, as our community is often very key to the innovation we see here. With that, let me go ahead and hand over the mic to Snazzy. Snazzy, take it away.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to interview the two of you guys. And I know we've been talking a lot on Twitter in the past. I've even done a personal collaboration with Cristala, and it's so different having a vocal personality to a written one. And so it's just really cool to be able to talk to you right now. Cristala, how are you? I know we talked a little bit about the games that you've been playing. Would you mind telling us a little bit about what you do and how you got started into crypto?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and be just a small voice for women here on Watts. So it's been a crazy ride these past few months, and well, I'm almost more than a year here, I think. Yeah, and it's been really crazy. I really, really love how everything is working out on Watts, and I'm so excited to be part of everything here, and just had a little piece of me here helping people. It makes my day. So in crypto, I had almost I think 5 or 6 years. It's been a lot of time. In that time, as you guys know, one day in crypto is like 10 years in real life. So you have to keep evolving and making new stuff every day, because technology changed. And I started with something small, like mining Ethereum, and then it started to evolve and join communities, and then I ended up knowing Watts, and I really fell in love for this blockchain, and I started to make some videos to help people to get on Watts. And I started getting a really good response about people. People really liked to see how I was teaching all the new stuff on Watts, because everything was so new, and there was, I think, not much. It was like counting with the fingers, the people that was making some videos to help people getting started on Watts. So I started making some tutorials about how to create a wallet, how to using Atomic Hook, buy and sells NFT. And also I started to teaching people about how to get your monkeys on Alien Wars, and mining Alien Wars, and staking mining wars and Alien Wars. So it's been a really long way. Then Marcos, he's the leader of 3D Calendar. He saw one of my videos. He saw my videos and told me that he was really decided if I wanted to work with him and start to making some community stuff for 3D Calendar, and here I am. So I can't be more happy to be here.
We love that you're here. You've done so much to educate and onboard community members in multiple languages, which is a huge feat. And you do a great job. And we love the initiative that you've taken. So I'm really curious, where are you from? And are cryptos and NFTs really popular there? Is that how you got such an early start in crypto?
I'm from Venezuela, so I'm from Latin America. And so here it's really hard to do some stuff because on the internet, not me because I have good internet right now, but you just start to make joining communities and you learn stuff and you are like, oh, do you know this new stuff? And you start to try and that's how I get into an NFT and what's so I wanted to share all the knowledge that I've been in that time had about what the people didn't have in my community, in my country, and in Latin America in general. So I wanted to make people learn how to make some stuff by their own in our language and not to go to search something in English. Just saw videos about how to make stuff in Spanish. So people really love that and start to support my channel and support my social media. And it was really, really sweet and cute.
I think it's so important that we have people like you and some of our other big influencers in the wax space have the ability to onboard people in all kinds of different languages, because the blockchain is supposed to be a decentralized space. So it's really important to have people passionate the way that you are. What are some of the pros and cons that you've experienced with being bilingual in the NFT video space?
Well, and the pros that I have is that I can reach a lot of audience, not just Spanish, because all my videos, almost all my videos are in Spanish language, me talking Spanish, but they also have subtitles. I make subtitles so people in English can also see my videos and learn stuff that I share on my YouTube channel. And here on Twitter, I 100% all in English because it's just there is not much Spanish community, unfortunately, on Twitter about NFT. It's more in English, so I talk English, not the best, but I can communicate in writing. I'm better writing, and people like to. I like to share my thought in Twitter here about everything in NFT and share with people. And people in English are the most people that follow me here on Twitter. I have also Spanish people in my Twitter, but they are not too much as on my YouTube. So, but and unfortunately, I sometimes I think I feeling that I get that I maybe should start making videos in English because there is not much reach. The NFT community in Spanish is small, but it's getting bigger every day. So that's something really cool that has been happening these past few months, because there are other blockchains like Binance blockchain or Solana blockchain. There are some games there. They are just making so not the good stuff there, and people are coming to watch. So a lot of the people that are coming to watch are mostly in Spanish people, and I'm really happy to make them see my contest and give them a welcome here, so people can know what's and all they had to offer.
I think it's so awesome that you're able to be that for them when they come into the space, because they're familiar with the language and familiar with the delivery of content in that way. And you make such cohesive content. Even whenever you have subtitles on in English, flows very, very easily to follow along with. So I'm excited to see, as you said, more people who are coming from outside of the wax space, coming into the wax space, be able to utilize the videos that you're creating. And I'm curious to know what kind of games are you really enjoying playing right now, and are they familiar to the types of games that you played before you got involved in NFTs and crypto?
Yeah, I think right now the NFT space here on Watts is changing drastically, and people are starting to enjoy and want games that they can play, like actually play, not just one click and there. So I'm really happy that some of those games are coming to Watts. And for example, I'm a passionate League of Legends player, and I will be so excited if some game like League of Legends will come to Watts. So I'm waiting for that. I sure there's in time it will come. But right now we have some amazing games that they are developer, and here on Watts we have like for arena. It's really cool. I really enjoy to make the gameplay of Arena, because I'm not so good on shooters, but it's really fun. I know that that's one of the games that I enjoy to play. Also, I've been playing Novo Pangaea. That's really fun game too. Trying to build my land and my settle and put my workers to work. That's a fun game too. I'm also playing in RadaQuest every day, and if getting my daily rewards and boosting my deck. And recently I've been making some research, so there are some few games that I have my eye on. I hope to catching up soon. So it's been really fun, all the stuff that is happening in What's Space.
I couldn't agree more with you about the sentiment of games inside of Wax right now, really focusing on the actual playable games rather than the classic stakeable games that we were used to. And I love the dynamic and the shift, because that's really how we're going to see, I guess, the ability to bring in more users. How do you feel about bringing in more people into Wax? Like, whenever you make YouTube content, I know that you said that you made a lot of original content based on how to create a Wax wallet and how to set up a collection. Is that stuff that you revisit now and again, or do you think that was just stuff at the beginning of your YouTube content career?
Well, that's one of the things that I've been studying in my beginning to make you guys and all that for people. Right now, there are so many projects. I'm trying to balance the stuff about helping people to learn about what's, and also helping collections. I think it's important to help content creators and developers that are making new games, because there are some games that they're good and people don't know about it. So I think it's also part of our job as in YouTubers and content creators to boost the developers of the games, so people can know and see if that game like it in all collection. I've been helping since the beginning game developers and also collections to boost the reach in here on Twitter and in YouTube. So I think it's important that to help not only to people to come to watch as users, it's also important to help collections and help artists and help game developers to come to watch to make their stuff here.
I could not agree more. And I love that you focus on highlighting those inside of your videos themselves. If somebody is below listening in, how would you recommend for them to be able to reach out to you about collaborating to showcase the game they're working on or to showcase their collections they're working on?
Oh, they can reach me in here on my Twitter. I'm here all day on Twitter. They can also reach me on Discord. They can reach me on 3D Car Render Discord. I'm always there online. And they can also reach me on my YouTube channel. There is all my social info there.
Thank you so much, Cristela, for the brief interview. We're going to come back to a discussion later where I'm going to ask you some more generalized questions to get your thoughts and ideas out and more of like a roundtable discussion. And we're going to move on to now Elsie, who is able to join us and do her brief interview.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cristela. So, Elsie, welcome to the space. I'm excited to get to know you today. I know that we've just been texting back and forth through Discord and through Twitter in the past. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came into the realm of crypto and NFTs.
You might be muted, Elsie.
The space might be giving her a hard time.
Sorry. My mic was muted, and then my mic was muted on here too, and I was unmuted, but yeah, I'm here. You can hear me now, right?
Yes, we got you.
All right. So yeah, it's great to be here. I know we've been talking back and forth, so it's good to get to know you and everybody here better. In terms of crypto, like I got into crypto back in like 2015. I started getting into it. I was looking at Bitcoin and ETH and even Litecoin back then, and then I started getting into Ripple XRP. And then I kind of went on like a hiatus with it in 2017 when everything went down. And then I came back to it like in 2020, I guess, maybe when a lot of other people did during the pandemic, just because it was an interesting thing to study more about, to spend some of my free time, I guess. But getting into NFTs, I didn't really get into them until probably the summer of 21. I guess it was like August. I was looking, actually, the first chain that I did anything with NFTs in was Matic, Polygon. I was doing like some punk crypto games, Neon District, and then I found Wax. So I was very excited about that. Actually, the first project that I got really heavily into on the Wax was Warsaken back when it was starting up. So I kind of started with them like back in September of 21 and spent a lot of time in their community. I really liked their community. I still like it, but I don't spend as much time in it now, I guess. But you know, that kind of got me kicked off. It was a better feeling for me being on Wax than it was in maybe other communities. Some of the discords for ETH were a little not very friendly, I guess, to women, I felt like. So I appreciated that all the communities that I joined in Wax back in the beginning were very welcoming. And it was just a great experience just getting into everything. So that was my first project. And then like it progressed over time. I think in November I found NFT Gamer TV, and I kind of dove into that community because to me, like I'm really more interested in looking at projects and figuring out how viable of a future I guess they have. I don't know. You know, I do a lot of analysis in my real life outside of crypto with my work, but that being able to research and talk to people in the community and see what they think about each game and what it's going to be like or what it has been like for them is really interesting to me. And I try to share like that knowledge that I've learned, I guess, from the start with other people.
I think that's such a a great breath of fresh air into the space, because we really, I think, need more people who are interested in the analysis aspect of NFTs and projects, and even whenever it comes to video content, just because the future of NFTs is going to really need that type of mindset whenever we're looking at how we get from point A to point B, from being how we are now to being mainstream to where everybody knows about them. So I'm really curious to know, you basically function as a community manager to NFT Gamer TV now, do you not?
Yes, I do. I'm actually, as of last week, officially one of their partners. So I have been, working as a mod in their community for like 6 or 7 months. So I help everybody in there, direct them to different drops and give them information about what's coming up and help to organize things, I guess, for them.
Well, congratulations. That is no easy feat. It's definitely difficult to manage a collective of, entrepreneurs and creative types. So I understand the type of actual effort it takes to be able to be a part of something like that. And I really am curious, as a community manager of such a large group of crypto enthusiasts and project enthusiasts, what are the conversations like right now that you talk about in your Discord?
We talk about mostly wax in there, maybe not surprisingly, but most of the people in the server came into it from wax. It is for other chains too. We do have some soul projects that we talk about, and ETH and different things like NBA Top Shot and stuff like that. But right now we talk a lot about, of course, the structure of the backbone of wax, like the Black producers and the OIG. So we're talking about governance and maybe like trying to come up with ideas on how we can help improve that internally. We talk about that. And then we talk about, the market right now and what's it maybe going to do. We always tell people this isn't for financial advice, but trying to predict what is going to happen in the future for different projects. We saw Dragon Valley, I guess, yesterday, a couple of days ago. They had to say goodbye because they couldn't support their project anymore. But we're trying to find projects that might have that happen so that we can help people minimize any impact that would have on them. I don't know, we talk about so many things. Pretty much anything anybody can think of related to crypto and NFTs. We do have a trading channel in there. People talk about just the regular crypto market minus NFTs. It's sometimes kind of depressing lately, I guess, but hopefully things will start looking up in the future.
I definitely understand the sentiment. And it just comes with part of it being in a bear market, and also the global state of the economy in general. But I like that you guys are introducing ways to solve ideas about collections that feel like they might be teetering, and really coming up with different solutions that they have to continue making their collections have a positive impact and a positive outlook on the future. I think that is really awesome. And I didn't realize that those conversations were taking place in the NFT Gamer TV Discord. And so I would love if everybody was able to check that out later, because it seems like there's a lot of innovation happening on a community sentiment standpoint. And I think that comes in part with you guys offering so many different content creators inside of your space and boosting them as the NFT Gamer TV platform as well. I'm really interested right now. I know you talk about how the sentiment of the space is a little low. What are you guys doing right now to really add excitement, or how do you approach different negative situations and try to have the positive outlook on it?
So we have our weekly stream where we talk about, it's like the weekend wax that we do. We talk about coming drops, and we try to discuss the projects in as positive well, I guess we pick and choose probably, but like, Funko, whenever a Funko drop is coming up, we love Funko, we talk about that. And then, blockchain brawlers, music mobiles, anything that seems like it has a lot of potential, really interesting. We try to really highlight those projects and engage our community about it. We also have we have a dev channel actually, so we started that up to try and help people who maybe needed some help learning how to do smart contracts or different things on the chain, so we can support them through that process. And it's just a place for people to discuss problems that they're having. And TD is actually more active in there than I am, but he does help a lot of people in there. But overall, I feel like almost everyone on our team is pretty positive when they're engaging with the community. They try to be as helpful as they can. We do have people come in sometimes who are upset about something they heard, not about us, but like maybe another project, and they want to just start talking about it right away, and we try to hold them back and make them think about what they're hearing and how accurate the information is, and maybe show them some other places that they can find more accurate information if what they have is not true. So we try to temper that, and we have a lot of streams every week too, just to get people as involved as possible. We do have some gaming streams, like there's an immersive stream that we have. I don't know, we always have something going on there. I feel like we're Saken. We have Taco Tuesday, so Taco, we've on our server, really love Taco, and we have a lot of fun with them on Tuesdays, and they're really positive boost for our community too. Them and More Saken Wednesdays. I want to fill up every day of the week with something. I have to think of what else we can do on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday, actually, we have in our server a women geared group, the NFT Chicks, and we actually started the first all female dungeon master clan there. So we do have talk about women in gaming and women in crypto a lot, and there. And I'm hoping that we start a stream on Saturdays, where we're either playing games or just talking about issues related to women and how we can empower everybody and just have a good time together. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh. I love everything that you had just said, because it's so important for people to be able to feel like they have a resource or somewhere to turn whenever they have the big feelings. And people who've experienced being a part of that game or playing that game as well, it's nice to be able to have those ideas bounce back and forth between each other in a conversation. And I love your initiative with the women's space on Saturdays. I'm really looking forward to being able to hear and watch those streams, because I think that's going to be really exciting to help onboard more women into the space. And I'm not sure if that was the intention, but I think it's definitely going to be the reaction. So with the last closing question I have, what is the favorite thing that you have about being in the position that you're in?
I guess it is just being able to help people. I think when I first came into crypto and NFTs, even Wax, as welcoming as the community was, it was a little confusing and overwhelming at times. So we try to actively go and find the people and bring them into the community so we can help them through the process of creating wallets. And where do you create wallets? You can create them on Wax Cloud Wallet, or you could do Anchor, or you can do Wombat or whatever. But we walk them through the process of doing that. We have a lot of really generous members in our community. Sometimes they'll help, stake a little CPU or RAM or something for people. So there's that. And then, we try to help guide them based on their interests into different projects. Like, are they interested in like RPGs? Are they interested in fighting games, card games? We'll try and show them some good communities that they can go and join up and learn more about those, just to kind of steer them and a good start, strong start in the community, so it's not so overwhelming.
I think that's such a beautiful reason to be a part of a community of people who are building and being part of the pioneering process in blockchain. It's just being there, being able to answer questions, being able to direct people. And that's what I really like about Wax, because I also came from an Ethereum background before I got into the Wax background. And the point that you made earlier about it being a little harder to manage the scope in that space is true. And that's what I love about Wax, is that we're able to talk to each other in spaces like these, or even on Twitter itself, feature people to Discord, and get those questions answered and get that onboarding process going. So thank you so much. This has truly been a delight, and I'm so grateful for all the answering of my many questions and walking us through the processes that you both took. So now I would like to actually invite some people from the audience up below to join us as we jump into the next conversation. It's going to be more of a discussion type. So if anybody wants to join, go ahead and hit that request button. We'll start accepting those and we'll get straight into it. So this is kind of going to function almost like a round table, but if you don't have anything to say, that's absolutely fine too. The first thing that I was really interested in knowing about is how you guys both have platforms that do such a great job covering so many different types of games and NFT collections in general. What is the most valuable lessons that you two have learned collaborating with other projects?
That's a good question. I have to think about. So for me, like, I have to always make sure I know exactly what the other projects want, to manage expectations, because I don't want them to be disappointed in what they're getting from me if I'm promoting them, and I don't want to be disappointed and feel like I didn't meet their expectations, I guess. So having clear understanding of what's expected is very important when you're working with another in the collaboration. And then just if other projects, when you're working with other projects, to be open to new ideas, maybe that you hadn't thought of before, something that could be completely outside of your comfort zone, to try it out first before you dismiss it. And I think another thing I see, like, within the community sometimes, like, if a project comes up and maybe it's headed by somebody who the community doesn't always agree with, or some people in the community don't agree with, they automatically just dismiss the project. I think it's important to give every new project a chance, to show you what their vision is, and to bring you into that space. Give them at least a few weeks, and before you're like, oh no, that's not for me, nobody should do that. Just it's because it's not fair, I think. But for me, that's, I guess, the main things.
I think that was very valuable. I love the point that you talked about where it comes to expectations. Because whenever we're uplifting each other in the space, I think that it's important to have those expectations, especially because if something happens, then it could fall back on you. And it's important to establish boundaries, and definitely doing research before you agree to partnerships too, I think, is important. So I love that you brought up the concept of expectations, managing expectations, being transparent, and understanding what it is that you guys are doing together. So thank you for that. I know that Cristala also does a lot of partnerships in this space too. So I'm curious to know what her lessons are that she's learned along the way as well. Also, I saw Crypto Kumas came up. We'll get to you too, Kumas.
Well, I've been doing a lot of partnerships in all this time that I've been here on Watts, and I just uh, I really love to help people, and I think it's important to bring new help all the collections and all that. And what I like the most about our community is that we love to help. You can find any people here on Whats, and it's always gonna help you in any way. If you ask anything, they will help you to the end. That's the I think is that's the heart of what is their community. That's the main fact. And in helping people, you find in other ways and learn so much about all people's things that I wanted to hear on what's you always learn new stuff, and even you make new friends here. And even if you help them about today making helping them in a small thing, they will help you in the future with something else. So that's what I love about our community, and I think that's the thing that makes us different from other blockchain in general.
That is so true. I think that there's so much value behind people supporting one another and being excited to share what we've all been working on in the space and being able to highlight all of the work that's been put through. And I love that you bring up everybody, all the creators are the ones that are really the heart of the space, because I could not agree more with that. That's why I like having everybody up and having conversations like this. So thank you guys for joining us. I know Crypto Kumas came up. Kumas, did you have anything that you wanted to talk about the value behind collaborations with other projects?
Hey guys. Yeah, I appreciate you having me up. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could honestly go on about collaborations for a long time. I don't even know. I just lost count at this point. I don't know how many collaborations I've had at this point, but we got a lot of wax-based Kumas, the properties over here. So, yeah, no, I think it's definitely a big thing. It helps. It helps like spread that kind of vibe between properties, especially if it's something that I think relates to your property. Like, you want to find projects like that. Like, and not everyone's project will relate to another one. So it's like when you find someone that has a more animated style of an approach, or they have kind of more a gothic style artwork, or you know what I mean, like those are the types of projects that should be looking to collab with each other, because they're going to have the same demographic, they're going to have that same style of collector, they're going to have, I mean, 9 times out of 10 the same people that are interested in that same kind of material that you're offering. So like when you see some people collab, it's usually like hitting the nail right on the head, because it makes sense on, maybe one project is a cute project and the other project is a cute project. So, I mean, they obviously, it would just only make sense for them to collab. But yeah, I definitely would have to speak strongly on behalf of what collabs do, and just the fact that where it even just unites those communities even more. So not just does it unite the collections and kind of allows them to have, we all get to share collectors in communities, which that's like pretty rare. Like, you don't see that. Like, everything's usually like me anywhere else, just in the regular business world, the real world period. And then also in some of the more high profit projects, like on some of the other blockchains, like everything is more or less about what can they get out of it, not how can everyone benefit as a whole. And I think what Brett says, the quote here and there, like a rising tide raises all ships, or something like that. And that's really what it is here. Like, because when one person cannot allow to lock away, or to put up a wall, or to centralize that experience or that information that they have to offer to the next person, it allows everyone to grow in whole. And before you know it, let's say one of those other collections manages to evolve and they grow in the space, and so things go well for them, then that's just all the more that they're gonna come back to you when they're doing well. So I mean, yeah, I don't know, I guess that's just my personal opinion too, and who I am. Like, you always want to try to help others as much as you can. So like they were saying, like the ladies were saying, you definitely want it to make sense. You don't want to be collabing with people that can end up being into some shady things, or that might reflect bad upon your brand in the end. So you always want to make sure you're checking into stuff, and make sure you do your due diligence so that you know who you're dealing with. But for the most part, if you find a good community, you find a good artist, like, collabs are 100% the way to go. I mean, there's probably 4 or 5 people in here right now that I've collabed with already. So no, I appreciate you guys for having me up. And yeah, I mean, I just wanted to kind of give my pitch on the whole collab thing. But also, like, I guess the reason why I unmuted or decided to come up was about the, we were talking about like what to do in a bear market and so on. So I don't care what it is, guys, a bear, bull, whatever. Have fun. I get some people do this stuff for a living. Like, some people don't have jobs. Some people, this is their main source of income. So it can get stressful. Like, that's something that you can't control. Like, your emotions are now tied to that financially. So when a graph goes up or down, things can become a struggle. So, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you have to have that fun, because it's like, you could see it in your brand. Like, you could see it in your product. Like, you're not, you as the creator are not enjoying it. And you don't want that. I mean, I'm not to say that it will stop a collection from selling or anything, but it stops the collector from now also having fun as well. So just have fun, guys. You know what I mean? I know it's rough. It's up and downs. It is crypto. We all know this. We know the game that we're playing here, but definitely always try to have fun, whether it's have fun creating. If you can't have fun creating, then go out there and have fun collecting. But yeah, I think I'm done with my long rant that turned from 5 minutes into like 15 minutes. So I'm sorry, guys.
Well, I think that you brought up some really valuable points, Kumas, and I'm grateful that you were able to come up and share your perspective, because, like you said, it's important to have fun right now. And I think that goes back to what Cristala was talking about earlier, about how the demographic of game expectancies, or the game players and their expectancies, has changed into what games were like at the beginning of the Wax ecosystem to what they're wanting now, which is a more fun, playable game. And it's because they have these expectations of, wanting to enjoy what they've created. And I think that it's really important to highlight and showcase that. So thank you. I think that helped tie in together the reasons a lot. And I think that your perspective is valuable here. This is on topic, but also a little less serious, I guess. We were talking about partnerships in the past, and I'm curious if there's any collections that Cristala and Alcy have been looking at recently that they're wanting to delve into or really talk about in the future. I know that Cristala was talking about how Nova Rally is coming out soon, and she's excited about that.
Yeah, I was talking about that because it's like I say about the games that I'm making more fun and playable right now, because I played already like months ago when it come out, and it was nothing like they're gonna make something new about 3D models. You just play and select your pilots and because it's a cars game, a racing game. So you just pick your 2 pilots, your car, and you just wait to see if you won. If you lose and there was nothing there, you just had to wait. So now you can see the new the 3D model, and you can see your car moving and all that. I think that's something to be really happy, because collections and games in general, I realize that we want more. The gamers in the What's Space want more. Want to be heard, and just want games really fun, and not a clean and air game. They want to have fun. So that's just like one example of one collections that are proud. I am proud that make some changes and make some new stuff for the gaming community on Watts.
I think it's tough too. I mean, honestly, like you can't. There's people that aren't happy with the Call of Duty that came out yesterday. You know what I mean? So it's like even at the highest AAA level of gaming, people are still wincing and whining about it. Like, but there's no. So like it's such a double-edged sword with the whole gaming thing. But I mean, I get it. People want some evolution and some growth, and I agree. I would like to see it as well, but where does it end realistically? It's like, I mean, and then once we crank out Call of Duty for you on the blockchain, and then what? And you're still going to be like, but what about downloadable content? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think it's ever going to end, but shouts out to those guys that are crying about those games. But sorry, guys, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I think that we just had to enjoy the ride.
I was gonna say there's a few games that I've been watching. Well, I mean, Hello Coaster, I'm interested in because the people who are the devs that are creating that are also from Century Train. So they've been around for a while, and a lot of people enjoy that. And they keep adding new things to that game. So I'm excited to see where that goes. There's a game from some Spanish devs called Siege of Mitra that I'm really interested in. It's like not many people seem to know about it, but it's a kind of like a strategy builder game that's going to be on mobile as well as it's a wax game. And then Afterland, I'm kind of excited about because that reminds me of my days playing World of Warcraft. I played for quite a while, but it looks similar. So I'm excited to see that when it comes out. The videos I've seen so far look really great. So yeah, I guess those are like my big three right now.
I'm excited about Afterland too. I'm sure that was one of the ones Cristala was talking about that she had her eye on too. The gameplay I saw for that was really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited now to Afterland because everyone is talking about that. So I'm waiting to see if they're gonna take us for surprise and make something really awesome for us.
I hope so. I think it'll be fun. Alcie, do you plan on making video content like the other NFT Gamer TV people do?
I do. I have my own channel. I've been making some videos as a wax ambassador, like on my own separately. But I think, in the near future, like I mentioned the NFT chicks, like the Saturday night thing. I am hoping to do that on Twitch with them, and then I don't know. I mean, I'm still trying to plan things out. I guess. TD and I do like a weekly Twitter space also where we talk about different topics in wax. Last week we talked about the OIG and the block producers, and the week before that, oh man, I can't even remember. We've done 3 episodes. This week we're talking about people botting drops and like multi-tabbing things and how that affects the economy and the chain. But yeah, so I do have that every Thursday, and hopefully more coming up. I have to make plans for it though.
Oh, I'm so excited. I have been doing some Twitter stalking, and I saw that you didn't have the link yet to the YouTube video, so I'll need to look for that because I'm interested to see all of the different videos that you've been making, because I love your perspective, especially coming from an analyst side. And I know that we were talking earlier about your Saturday space for women, and it kind of led me into this question that I've been thinking about, is what do you think that it'll take to bring in more females into the space, and how do you think that we can do that, not only as individual YouTube content creators or Twitch streamers, but as the blockchain itself?
That's a good question too. I think it just starts with making your community, or trying to build your community to be more friendly towards everybody, to be more inclusive, just not be like those comedians that are on ETH where it's all about, I don't know, Lambos and going to the moon and everything like that. You want to try and bring women and even different ethnicities and different cultures and ideas in as much as possible and just support them. How beyond that, it's tricky because we're still working out some initiatives. I mean, we did start like with our women-centric plan and our channel, and we keep trying to bring more women in just to engage with them and talk about different crypto and making it so it's not overwhelming, because I think, coming from like a tech industry where it's very, it's still hard for women to get into tech, and making it so that it's more accessible so they don't feel overwhelmed. Women can do STEM too. Trying to get that message out to them and support them in that, I think will help bring them into the community as well.
I love the concept around making it easier for them and less difficult for changing the narrative of what blockchain tech is in order to help onboard them and feel more comfortable entering the space. Because you're right, women can do STEM, and look at all of us up here. We're creating some really cool things, and we're a part of some really awesome. We're a part of a really awesome initiative that's going to change the space because we're making it happen. And I love to see how we're doing that and going about that from all different angles and perspectives. And I think it's going to be really cool to see how the space plans out. So I'm curious, where do you see blockchain tech and women integration in blockchain tech within the next 5 years? Do you think it'll take 5 years for it to get there, or do you think we'll still have some growing to do after that?
I think we'll still need growing. It's been decades where it's mostly a male-dominated field, and especially crypto, I think, that's a very new concept, and NFTs are even newer, and trying to pull people into that space, even like, everybody, not just women, it's going to take a while to move towards that. But yeah, we just have to try and make it easier or more comfortable for everybody overall, and get more information out there in a way that is easy to understand. I think that maybe is one thing that turns people off from the space, is like, if you just throw a bunch of like technical jargon at them, they have no idea what you're talking about. But if you explain it to them in a way that makes sense, it's like a business person or an English major, somebody, you want to get into crypto because there's all this potential in the future. We can do so much with smart contracts. Maybe someday everything in the world will run on smart contracts, and explaining what a smart contract is and how crypto and NFTs work within that space. I think it's very important to just share that information in a way that's not overwhelming.
I can't wait for more people to start hosting like how-to webinars, especially for teachers in schools and in colleges, to help teach everybody at an earlier age, so that people feel more comfortable entering the blockchain space as they get older too. I think that'll be really important. And I think it all starts with just us doing the work and being the ones who are setting the initiative. I know that we were thinking about hosting a webinar for women on the block and catering to a bunch of women. And I think we're going to be pushing that into December. So I'm excited to have that going. And I hope that initiatives like this are really going to drive more women into the space, because I think we need a balancing of the demographic, because I mean, there's a lot of focus on X, and it might be a more balanced ecosystem if we start catering to Y a little bit more. So I think that it'll be really awesome to see where the space is in 5 years. And I think that we are all directly impacting how that's working. And I love seeing the different initiatives that you've taken, Alcy, to be able to showcase and highlight the women on your Saturday streams, and that Cristala's taken to onboard Spanish speakers in her area and even locality, bringing them into crypto and teaching them about NFTs in a way that they're able to understand it easily. I think that's so important for the space. And I love seeing the hard work that you two are putting into it, because it's just, it touches my heart. I saw Doge Fellows came in here, and I was curious to know what kind of question he had, or if he wanted to contribute to any of the topics that we've been talking about up here.
Oh, hello. I know it's close to the top of the hour, so I'll be real quick. Thanks for bringing me up. And in terms of collabs, just going back a little bit, collabs are super awesome. It's so much fun. It can add so much energy to your project and revitalize yourself. And when you're smaller, collabing with someone that's bigger helps lift you up. And then in true Black Spam spirit, when you get to be a bigger project, it's a way to reach down and help lift people up, which is super amazing. And they're always so much fun. And then my other thought was a really big thank you to Shazzy and Kristalla and I'm driving. I can't see the name of the other guest. I'm so sorry. From NFT Gamer TV. I'm actually going to be on with you guys on Monday. But thank you to the three of you for the initiatives and the work that you put in and being leaders in the space. Having a more, I'm going to say not the correct word, please forgive me, space will be so much more beneficial for all of us in the long run, because let's face it, guys are dumb. And having a better balance, I think, will help the space grow in a more organic and sustainable and more beneficial way in the long term. So thank you very much for being amazing people and leaders in the space. Happy Wax Wednesday.
Well, thank you, Doge. Happy Wax Wednesday to you. I think you're right. I think it takes a lot of people to change the narrative of anything, right? And I think being able to have more perspectives is always better. The blockchain focuses on providing a decentralized space, and I think part of being able to truly claim to have a decentralized approach is to have as many different types of people involved as possible. So you have, all different kinds of genders, all different types of ethnic backgrounds, all different types of location able to create on the blockchain. And I think we are doing a great job at making sure that people all over the world have access to blockchain. But I think that we need to focus on making it more accessible for everybody to try to come into it. And I think that having conversations like this is the best first step that you can take into making that a reality. So I'm excited to see how this takes. So thank you for your kind words, those fellows.
Absolutely. Sorry, it's Alcy. Please forgive me for not being able to see your name. I am in the car. So.
That's okay. Thank you.
But yeah, absolutely. Having a more balanced like community and leadership and membership in the Web3 space. I mean, that's the larger goal of Web3. You just period, full stop, right? Is developing that inclusive and all hands on deck approach to moving forward. So thank you.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I was going to go back to something that you were talking about, just with bringing, more people into the space. And you mentioned like teaching them how to do things. I actually work outside of crypto at a graduate program that is based on analytics, and we added a blockchain course to our curriculum just so that we could start getting that out to people. But also, like the past couple of years, I talk to our students all the time, and more, like this past year when I was meeting with students, there were some that were talking about NFTs and NFT projects, and I was like very excited that they are thinking about making projects in different spaces, and it's just seeing the progression over time that I've been working with this program is really great. I was super excited to hear people talking about blockchain and NFTs. So I just wanted to share that.
No, that honestly is the invigoration that I think I needed. Just because like you said earlier, it's hard to be in this kind of market system right now, the way that things are. The sentiment is a little lower, but hearing that the actual minds are being changed of the young kids, because I know this time 2 years ago, a lot of the sentiment around NFTs was more negative, and they're like, "Oh no, it's a scam," And we've moved past that. We've pushed through those moments. We've kept doing the work, making things even cooler than they were before. And now they're like, oh, you know what? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something that's actually really cool and sustainable and something that I can contribute to and build on as well. And hearing that alone is such a this is awesome. This is what we're working for. We're working for more of that. And I love to hear it, because they're going to look into everything that you do, I'm sure, in 2 years down the line, whenever you have all of the different videos and content, to be able to look back on and be like, wow, that was my teacher. that was somebody really cool and really close to me, and look at the type of pioneering they did and the type of leadership they took on in the space itself to really create Web3 into what it is today. And the same thing can be said about Cristela. I can't wait for whenever, and I'm sure they already feel like this, but whenever 2 years from now, whenever Cristela's stuff is like the first go-to whenever it comes to learning how to start in crypto space in Spanish, for women specifically, then she'll get all of the praise for her hard work that she deserves. And I just love seeing these types of interactions happening, because we are all tied together in the blockchain. This space is recorded. It's forever locked and sealed into the Twitter spaces now, because they take on a permanent storage, which I'm not sure if anybody else knew this, but from now on, all Twitter spaces are supposed to take permanent storage within Twitter. So they'll be accessible until for some reason that structure changes. So it's really awesome to be tied together into conversations like this as leaders, because every single one of us in this call has been incredibly early into NFTs and incredibly early into blockchain, to the point where we are actually innovating and creating the ecosystem that's going to follow after us. And I think that's going to be really exciting to look back on and be like, wow, they were telling me about crypto. They were teaching me 2 years ago, and now look at where they are. And I think that's going to be a really fun conversation to have. And I think it's going to be even more fun for us to have these conversations in the future and be like, yeah, this is what we were talking about then. Look at how far we've come. And let's do a recap. And I think that'll be a really good conversation to have, and I'm greatly looking forward to it. And with that, I think that we are 7 minutes over the hour, and I'm sure all of you have things that you need to do tonight, and I respect your time. So Tommy, if you want to close this down, I think we're ready.
Yeah, certainly, Snazzy. I'll start with a big thank you to Cristela and Alcy for letting us feature you here in the space today. It was a pleasure to be able to put a voice to the face and that we see on Discord and Twitter every day. I'd also like to thank our community for coming out and showing support for the amazing women in this space. It is definitely not easy to be a trailblazer in this space, and the women who are putting forth this work should get the recognition that they deserve. Seems real obvious to me, so I'm excited that we were able to help with that. Thank you for joining us. Thank everyone for hanging out with us today. I hope you have a great Wax Wednesday. Talk to you next time.
Happy Wax Wednesday.